Well, the Astros didn't get the sweep against the St. Louis Cardinals, but they did finish at 500, 3-3 on this homestand. Not a losing record. You could have gotten a couple of those games and possibly won 5 of these 6 games, but they've got to move ahead. They get a day off, and players that need a rest will be able to rest as they go to Anaheim to face the Angels, and their June ticks on to one of their easier parts of their schedule. Can the Astros take advantage? Let's talk about this and other things on tonight's Locked On Astros.
Yainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Trey, Htown Wheelhouse Chancey.
Hey, y'all, thank you for tuning in to Locked On Astros. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. You can find me at Htown Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411 on X and on Facebook. You can find me at Back to the Bullpen on X and on Instagram. Look, I'm always positive, always Stros, and we've got some things to get to. The Astros did win the series. I really think the 3 big takeaways here, the things that I want to focus on: the Astros win the series. They win 2 out of 3. Yainer continues to stay hot. And what does this mean with Blanco? Is he slowing down? Is there a course correction that needs to be made? And then I guess maybe a fourth thing, we're going to talk about all-star voting. I'm going to show you my ballot. I don't do secret ballot when it comes to all-stars, but everything else is secret ballot. I won't ever tell you who I vote for and anything else, but I'll show you who I vote for. And it's not all Astros. And I'll also give you some updates on a couple names down on the farm that are intriguing and making stories in the minor leagues. So thank y'all for tuning in again to Locked On Astros. Make sure you make us your first listen every single day. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is an amazing app. You download it, you create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. I'm telling you, it is worth going to Game Time and checking that out. So let's talk about this game today. Let's talk about this series. Coming into the series, Yainer Diaz was talked a lot about because his bat was not hot. He was not hitting. But in 3 games, he has 3 home runs. He's not on the pace that Nolan Gorman is, but it is a welcomed sight. Trey Cabbage comes in, plays a game, and what does he do? It's his first home run as a Houston Astro. But I want to talk about Ronel Blanco. Ronel Blanco is 5-2 now. He's got 2 losses in a row. He only had 2 strikeouts. He had 2 walks, gave up 4 runs, gave up 5 hits. His ERA is still sub-3. It's at 2.75. So let's look at what he's doing right now currently. His last 2 starts, he has pitched 10 1/3 innings. He's given up 8 hits. He's given up 8 runs. All of those earned. He's given up 2 home runs. He's walked 5 batters and he struck out 8. Okay. Now that is a little bit of a deviation from where he was in April. He was 3-0. In May, he was 2-1. In June early, he is 0-1. But again, his average is still under 3. Now, I want to talk about Ronel Blanco in relation to the league and other teams adjusting to the pitchers, because just as much as you have catchers that study what the game plan is going to be, the hitters do as well. The opposing offenses do as well. And although the Cardinals have not been the best team, they're actually one of the worst offensive teams in baseball. They're really not good at all. If the league has the book on you and they can find something to pick out of your pitches, then they're going to do that. And I was actually talking with my friend Corbin earlier today, and we were just talking about the Astros and this up and down. And Ronel Blanco's start wasn't as bad as you would think. I mean, he induced 14 swings and misses. He just got into some bad luck counts, and it just seems like what you saw from these hitters is that, look, sometimes they're going to get the best of you. And Ronel Blanco, again, he did give up a home run. Most of the hits on him had expected batting averages way above. I mean, they were good, solid hits, but he still had 14 swings and misses. And his velocity is not really a concern. He's not a velo guy. He's not the guy you're going to look at and go, we're going to put in Ronel Blanco because of his velo. I mean, he was going anywhere between 94 and 83 or so on his breaking pitches. And so that's where he's going to be at. I think his hardest pitch was like 95.8, something like that. So he's not your high velo guy, but 95 is still good. Do y'all remember when the Astros had Wade Miley? Now, I'm not saying that Ronel Blanco is Wade Miley, but I remember covering him. I think I was the only person in the country writing about Wade Miley the year he was with the Astros, and I called him the Miley Chronicles. I actually have an 8x10 signed by Wade Miley, and he signed it the Miley Chronicles. It was at a Arctic plant over there on the north side of town. Anyways, met him, told him about the articles. I actually gave him like the web address for some of them. He actually read one while I was there and told me I did a good job. So that was kind of a neat thing for the player you're writing about. Gives you a little pat on the back. And it's neat to hear that they read your articles. But anyways, we saw Wade Miley have a huge drop off, but it wasn't until the end of the season. This is where I think the silver lining is in Ronel Blanco. Is Ronel Blanco and Yainer Diaz now have 2 games back-to-back where you can see he had the same results. Losses, the same amount of hits. One had 6 strikeouts, one only had 2. They had about the same amount of walks. He is inducing the swings and misses, but how can he not only induce the swings and misses, but if he gets the ball in the zone, how can he put it in a place that causes the batter to either dump it into the ground for a grounder or pop it straight up for a flyout? And that's what they have to look at. I think if he makes this course correction now, as the league has course corrected to him, then he will fight through with it. Who is Wade Miley? Look it up. Okay, well, Mr. Page, look, I'm making a comparison of a player that used to play for the Astros. So if you don't know who he is and don't care, then I don't have anything for you, man. Sorry. You can, if you don't like it, you don't have to listen. But this is our show. Wade Miley, he simply, the reason why I'm using him as a comparison, sir, is because he had a highly successful year and dropped off, but he didn't drop off till the end of the season. Okay. Right now, I don't think it's so much Ronel Blanco is dropping off like Wade Miley did. I just think the league is adjusting to him. And so I really think that at the end of the day, you want your guys, your horses, if they have to course correct, do it now rather than later. I would rather not see Ronel Blanco be successful and all of a sudden the league figure him out in August, and then he's having to make adjustments in August and September, and then all of a sudden, all right. So all of a sudden, you have a guy that simply comes in and like just gets wrecked at the end of the season because he's trying to make those adjustments. Let him make those adjustments now. Okay. Let him make those adjustments now. And I think you'll see a better productive Ronel Blanco. I bet you his next couple starts, you see him pick things up a little bit. That's at least my prediction. But Yainer Diaz stays hot. He has 3 home runs in 3 days. I mean, I love it. I love seeing it. Diaz's OPS is going up to 675. His average is up to 250. He was 1 for 3 today. It was a solo shot. You would have loved to have people on base. Look, they just didn't get enough hits. 5 hits, 2 of them were solo shots. You're not going to win games, even against the Cardinals with that. The team was 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. They only left 3 on base. Mikolas did a great job. Look, you would have thought Mikolas had 10 strikeouts. He only had 3 strikeouts, but he didn't have any walks. And the walks can kill you. He did give up the 2 solo shots. Remember, we always say when Verlander gives up a solo home run, we always say solo home runs don't get you. Well, they didn't get us, but we still won the series. And next segment, we'll continue the talk about Ronel Blanco. We'll talk a little bit about my all-star ballot, and we'll go from there. But first, these words. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app today and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Look, when it gets closer to game time, the ticket prices actually go down. I've experienced this. I've told you, walking into Minute Maid Park, I purchased my ticket, and within really less than 60 seconds, my tickets pop up. They are in my phone on my app. I don't have to search email, to go to this site, to open that, boom, 2 clicks and I'm in, and I've got it. It also has event cancellation. It has job loss protection. There are so many great things. Flash deals, zone deals. Also, if you find a ticket in the same row in the same section for a cheaper price on different website, they will give you back 110% the difference so you can spend on more tickets. It's not just baseball, it's football, basketball, everything in between, and not just in Houston. Wherever you go, find the Astros. If they're on the road, you want to get the lowest price guaranteed, go to Game Time. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the industry. Again, the promo code is LOCKEDONMLB. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Yeah, thank you for tuning in once again. This is Htown Wheelhouse with Locked On Astros. We are your team every single day. Make sure you tune into us. Make it your first listen. Give us a big thumbs up on there, and just not just subscribe, but tell your friends about it. Have them subscribe. Listen to us on Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. To work, on the way home from work, to school, on the way home from school, whatever it is. If you're a police officer, thank you for your service. I've talked to many police officers who listen to us in local jurisdictions all around Houston proper, and they listen to our show. They love it. And so at the end of the day, we want you to check us out. We also want you to check out the Locked On Astros postcast. Now, if you go to Apple, you can see Locked On Astros podcast, which is Eric and I, and Locked On Astros postcast. They have a symbol with a home plate on it, and that's Michael Connor. So go check him out. He does a good job. And when it comes to football, basketball season, he will cover that, U of H as well. So that guy is going to be a Swiss Army knife for Locked On. He's not just a Locked On Astros postcast, but he's got all the other Houston sports as well. So check them out, and make sure you check out Locked On Sports Today, the only 24/7 streaming channel. So again, I think Yainer getting hot is key. I think Yainer having confidence at the plate is going to help settle him down. I think he's going to do better behind the plate. Look, he's simply not great right now defensively. He isn't great throwing runners out, but I think he's had a lot going on in his head. Yeah, man. I put together a little short with Yainer Diaz and Jose Altuve. Neither one of them were involved in the making of that clip, but I just thought that was funny. I'll just address this, Chris. He smarted off back towards me when he was trying to go sideways with the show, and I responded to him, and he smarted back. And since I'm in control, I have the power to put him in timeout. So if you want to come in and play coy and say something towards me, and I don't like it, then I have the right to do that. If just understand who's in charge here. It's very distracting and takes away from the show. Like right now, I'm having to explain this. Okay. I don't mind. We have opposing views. And let me say this for those of y'all listening, those of y'all watching, we don't mind opposing views. We don't mind opposing fans coming in. Eric and I have said that all the time. But when you come in and you jack around with stuff and you take the discussion off kilter and you throw things off when we clearly have a plan and a direction. I mean, it's like Framber Valdez going off the game plan. So no, it's okay, Chris. I want to explain because I want everyone to know. I'm not just going to put someone in timeout for no reason. There is going to be a reason, and it's going to be your fault, not mine. It's kind of like when a kid in class goes, "Why did you give me lunch attention?" I said, "I didn't give you lunch attention. Your action gave you lunch attention." So that's just how it's going to be. I mean, it is our way or the highway. I'm sorry. If y'all don't like it, go start your own podcast. I make no bones about that. We have almost 12,000 subs. We've got nearly 2-point-something million downloads under our belt, and we're not about to let people come in here and bully us. It's just not going to happen. So anyways, with that being said, I want to show y'all my all-star ballot. Now, before I give you my all-star ballot, Here's the thing. My All-Star ballot doesn't have all Astros. Okay. I have gotten away from voting all Astros. I did that a few years ago. Okay. No, that's great. And I'll say this, Mr. Page, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But when I respond and I tell you who he is, don't be smart in your comments and then expect me just to, yeah, whatever. All right, dude. I'm not going to explain myself to that guy anymore. So with that being said, I'm going to show you all my all-star ballot and I make no bones about it. Okay. Again, they're not all Astros, but these are the ones that I feel like deserve. And my only one that I kind of regret putting up there, or what, not regret, but one I don't know that I'm 100% sure on is Vlad Guerrero Jr. But here is my all-star ballot. Vlad Guerrero Jr. at first, Jose Altuve at second, Jose Ramirez at third, Jeremy Pena at short, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Kyle Tucker, and then Connor Wong and Yordan Alvarez. Yes, I do have 1, 2, 3 Astros on there, 4 Astros on there. And someone says, well, that's kind of biased. I'm like, actually, I think it's not that biased. I think all those guys deserve to be on there. Then on the National League, I see Freddie Freeman, Luis Ariz, Alec Boehm, Trey Turner, Sal Frelick, Jurickson Profar, Christian Yelich, William Contreras, and Shohei Ohtani. And so there you go. What do y'all think of the All-Star ballot that I put up there? Who would you add Astros wise, or who would you take away Astros wise? I just want to know. The All-Star ballot, you can vote 5 times a day. So let me know what y'all think about that All-Star ballot. I think it's fair to say that a lot of those things, you don't see the known leader, Martin Maldonado, on your list, Brett. Well, look, just because he was the leader in the clubhouse, doesn't necessarily mean that he deserves to be an All-Star. I didn't vote for him for All-Star last year. So, I put Yordan up there hoping that he hits his stride and hoping that he basically catches fire on the road trip, so on and so forth. And yes, David, the Rangers are up 5-1. Tucker, I put Kyle Tucker on there. Kyle Tucker's right there. I have Juan Soto and Aaron Judge both. I think they both deserve to be on there. Kyle Tucker as well. I would love to put Dubon on there, but he hasn't played enough. 6-1. David. Hey, David, we don't need Rangers time ticker up here. 6-1, 7-1, 8-1. Anyways, Yordan's prime was 2020. Man, David is like Rabbit. David, you're like Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh. You're such a downer. Man, look, we lost today. Kick my dog while you're at it. Please, actually don't do that. But in our next segment, we're going to go to, I'm going to talk about some things going on down on the farm. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match of up to $100. You've heard me talk about basketball. You've heard me talk about hockey, but let me tell you about baseball. You got a chance to turn $10 into $1,000. In your favorite sport this summer, you can pick a Prize Picks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 players. Then you are locked in. And they have promotions from week to week. They also have a chance for you to cash in on the action with Prize Picks. And it's available in 30 states, including Texas, California, and Georgia. You'll love that. Prize Picks even offers injury insurance. So if your lineup stays in play, even if one of your players gets injured for baseball games, if you have a player who registered 2 plate appearances or less, Prize Picks will have your back and not count that as a loss. So go to Prize Picks today. I use it. It's fun. It is a great app. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Yeah, this episode is brought to you by Locked On Sports Today. It is the only 24/7 streaming sports channel on YouTube. And go check it out. Go check out Michael Connor on the Locked On Astros postcast as well. So, hey, again, thank you for tuning in to Locked On Astros. We do appreciate you following us, you sticking with us through all the years as we grow. And we just appreciate every one of you here. And yes, Corey Seager did come up limping after he made it. He had a hit. I don't know if it's to right or left field. He was trying to round first, and he pulled up with his hamstring, left the game. So it looks like, unfortunately, Corey Seager, having a very good year at the plate, may be out with hamstring injury, and who knows how long that'll be. Hopefully that won't be too long. And no matter what team it is, no matter what player it is, we don't ever wish anybody to come up lame or to come up hurt, because you don't want to ever see an opponent hurt. So let's look at two players down on the farm that are turning heads. Bryce Matthews just came back a couple weeks ago from his IL stint, and he has been on fire. Today he went 4 for 4 with 4 runs, 2 home runs, 3 RBI, 2 walks, and a stolen base in the win for his team. So Bryce Matthews is cooking there where he is right now. And then Ethan Pecco, ever since coming on the Locked On Astros show, the X feed has blown up with the mention of Ethan Pecco. He was named Carolina League Pitcher of the Month for May. 21-year-old went 1-0 and with a .86 ERA with 2 saves in 5 games, allowing 2 earned runs. So right there, some updates down on the farm, and there's a lot of guys that are doing a lot of good things. Pedro Leon is doing good. You have, gosh, I mean, all of our pitchers are just pitching phenomenally there on the farm. If I go to Astros Future right now, you look at the players that are really making moves and doing something good. You have Will Wagner. Now, Will Wagner did go on the IL, but this last week, the Astros Future gave him Player of the Week. The week before, he hit like 616. He was red hot. Jake Bloss threw 6.2 innings pitched and 3 Ks in Corpus. Jordan Brewer went off the other day. Luis Baez is just killing the ball in Asheville. So he's been promoted. Yeah. So Will Wagner he hit 611. He went 11 for 18 with 3 doubles, 2 triples, and 4 runs batted in the first week in June. Again, Ethan Pecco has been on the radar, but Will Wagner has been hitting. We've got a lot of guys down the farm that are doing a really, really good job. But Luis Baez in May hit 314, 7 doubles, 5 home runs, 16 RBI, an OPS of 875. So there is promise down on the farm with the Houston Astros. And if we can keep everybody else healthy, then I think the Astros can make some moves. If we can keep everybody else healthy, Brett, if you had a guess how much time before Loperfido comes back, I think they may be waiting on, can he get everyday reps? And the only way he gets everyday reps right now is either Singleton or Abreu is going to have to be cut. Either Singleton or Abreu is going to have to be DFA'd for, I think, Loperfido, because I think they want him to play first base. Now, I don't, I would have to look real quick to see how often he is playing first base. I know there for a while he was playing first base quite a bit. Lately, he's been playing more outfield. And while we're here on the show, I can look at that to see how many games he has under his belt at first base, because that would be key. I know they want him in the lineup every single day. That's why he's down there. That's why he didn't come up. All right. He has played 31 games with them. He is listed as a center fielder, but let's look at what his game logs say right now. So he is, it's not showing me a position. It's just showing me where he's hitting on this stat sheet. So for right now, I'm not exactly sure where they're playing him and how often they're playing him, But at the end of the day, they want him to get more and more reps. So that's why he is still down on the farm. So I think you'll see Loperfido if first base comes available. We will see him now. You mentioned Pete Alonso. Now, here's a problem with Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso is a one-trick pony. He's not good defensively. He hits home runs. That's all he does. He doesn't do anything else. I love Pete Alonso. I think he's a great player. He's my favorite non-Astro first baseman since Mark McGwire. I just love his power swing. I love power bats. He's the polar bear. Who are we going to go after? I have no idea. I mean, I think we have trade pieces. I think, why wouldn't you consider trading Ryan Presley if the rest of your bullpen's working? Presley could fit in Baltimore on a contender. He has a no trade clause. But if I was Presley and I could become closer of a contender in the AL East, I think I would take the opportunity. I would say, yeah, I'll approve that trade. But are the Astros going to get back someone that's major league ready? Or are they going to try to build their farm system? Are they buyers or are they sellers? Remember, Dana Brown said, we're fine. We're going to stand pat. It doesn't matter. We're going to win a World Series with this rotation. Okay. You know, things like the White Sox have made it available that Luis Robert Jr., they will trade him. Well, the Astros don't need an outfielder now. We've got plenty of outfielders. We've got too many outfielders. You got guys on you got guys. So Jeff Passan lists some players that could be dealt. Jack Flaherty in Detroit, Tyler O'Neill, an outfielder, Nick Pivetta. You have Christian Walker, which we talked about in the past. Paul Sewell, we don't need another closer. Jock Peterson. Let's see, Mackenzie Gore and Mason Miller in Oakland. Gosh, I'd love to have him, but there's no way they give him up. Pete Alonso, we just mentioned him. I think pretty much if your name has a consonant or a vowel in it and you play for the Marlins, you're on the trading block. Jesus Luzardo, Trevor Rogers, Braxton Garrett, Ryan Weathers. I mean, all these players. Kevin Pillar, Matt Moore, Adam Simber, Hunter Strickland, Joe Adell, Luis Rengifo, Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson is going to be one of the most sought-after pitchers, left-hander for the Angels, having a great year. Ryan McMahon, Tommy Pham, Luis Robert Jr., Eric Freed, Garrett Crochet. Look, there's a lot of people that are going to be out there, but yeah, Paul Skeens. No. And you know, I don't wish any injuries on anybody, but Paul Skeens, I give him a year or two before he gets Tommy John. I mean, there's no way he continues to throw 100 plus and that doesn't affect his elbow. So, buyer beware for Paul Skeens. I hope that doesn't happen to him. I hope he's that one pitcher that he's durable and it doesn't happen to him. But gosh, he throws so hard. It scares me how hard he throws the ball. So, look, that's all we got. We went down on the farm. We talked about Blanco. We talked about Yainer Diaz. We talked about the Astros. And going forward, let's see if they give us any intel on the next game for the Houston Astros as they go to Los Angeles. And let's see who we have. Do we have anybody listed for the Angels series? Yes, we have Framber Valdez going on June 7th versus Canning. And then, let's see, we got Framber Valdez. Then we have Hunter Brown listed against Anderson. Hunter Brown's looked good lately. I like that matchup. Then we have, let's see. So Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, and then I'll make sure I get this right, and Justin Verlander against Pablo Sandoval. So you got that. And then the Astros are off to San Francisco, where there was no pitcher mentioned, but they're in San Fran after that. So I like how the 3-game series sets up. I like the pitchers we have. And I think that you can go into Anaheim and win those 3 games, move on to San Francisco. I think you can win 3. I think of those next 6 games, you can win 5 of those 6. Then you have 3 series in a row. Hopefully the Rangers falter a little bit. Hopefully the Mariners slip up a little bit. And yeah, look, Joker Films, that's right. Astros do need to sweep. I was counting on them sweeping today, but I think they can go into Anaheim and sweep as well. So, hey, thank y'all for tuning in to Locked On Astros. This has been another great show. Hey, 2 shows in one day, not a bad deal. Eric coming to us live from the cruise ship. Are you kidding me? What a guy. What a guy. And Eric is the one that helped us bring on Ethan Pecco. Go check out the interview if you haven't. Also, if you've never seen the Yainer Diaz interview, go back and watch it. Really fun, great information. The Astros are heating up. Stay faithful. Don't worry. We got your back no matter what the Astros are doing. We are your team every single day. I'm out. Go Astros.